Hello out there in Flat Earth land. This is Rich, Mr. Thrive and Survive, and it is August 24th, 2018. You are looking at a screenshot of a video, a absolutely marvelous video, which was presented on Sun and Moon Family United channel. And I will link to that below this particular video. If you haven't subscribed to Sun and Moon Family United, I would highly suggest you do. Not only do you get a lot of flat earth, but you get a lot of related and even unrelated subjects that, anyway, they appear unrelated, but they sort of correlate together in the big overall picture. And the big overall picture is we're lied about everything. On that channel, there's a lot of people doing their own independent work, coming to conclusions that science should have and probably has actually come to long ago, but it's been suppressed from us. So let's take a look at one aspect of this video. Now, I'm probably going to come back to this video many times. There are a lot of great takeaways that you can get from this video. Now, I don't necessarily 100% agree with every one of the conclusions that Dave Marsh, who is the creator of this video, came up with. But there is a lot of fantastic work that he has done and that I think others can build off of as well. Now, he is at one point calling this, as you see here, moon race, the motions of the moon from a flat earth perspective. And he opens up an entire can of brand new things that we can take a look at. The title again is Moon Race. He calls it Luna Lemma presentation. That is a term he came up with. The Motions of the Moon by Dave Marsh. And let's go ahead and skip ahead here and take a look at something. Now, what he did in this video, he took his own independent observations, and he also went to timeanddate.com and also to this site, which I'm not sure exactly what the site is called, but it is a NASA-based site where it gives you the different lunar phases. And more importantly, for this part of the presentation he did in this video, it gives you the cycle and how far away the moon is from the Earth according to NASA's model. And what you will find out, and what I will show in a different video, is that Kepler's second law of planetary motions and different things like that is absolutely obliterated if the moon is a solid object like we've been presented, you know, that it's something that's rotating around the Earth. It is a planetary body, so to speak, a moon, and solid material and not just a light up there. And either Kepler's second law of motion is obliterated along with gravity, by the way, or the moon is not what we've been told. It is not a orbiting body that is solid and is subject to gravity. That is for another video. What he came up with in this video for me was a couple of observations with actually the stars, star trails. That's particularly what I'm going to be talking about here, but also, if you will, lunar trails or the path of the moon. And both of those would be impossible if we live on a spinning ball. And that is the point of this video, to show that in a brief amount of time as possible. So let's jump right in. Alrighty then, we're going to look at what would happen if you're standing on a spinning ball on an axis like the Earth is on a fixed axis. And I got to bring this up. I'm sorry for you who are more intelligent and more up to date with this stuff, but the Earth does not wobble nightly on its axis according to science. None of us will ever experience a wobble because it takes hundreds of thousands of years to happen, or whatever they say. So believe it or not, people will comment and say that's the reason for what we're about to experience here. So the Earth, if you're standing on the Earth here, let's say at this intersection of these two lines, and you're looking up at a star over here. Oh, almost forgot. We have to tilt it because people will leave a comment. You didn't tilt it on its axis. That's the problem. All right, that's tilted at what? 23.4 degrees. But that means we're not 90 degrees upward. We have to subtract 23.4. What does that leave us with?
Oh, man!
Is that a coincidence? I'm going to start pointing out these coincidences because they're not coincidences. Now let's start to take a look at this from reality's point of view. If you're on a spinning ball, if a person is standing here at this coordinate looking up at a star, We're going to show the same person down here. Of course, the Earth is rotating towards the east according to the official model. And this is what the observer should observe overhead with the star trail. As the Earth spins, there should be a line. Now, of course, we know that since we can't see around the supposed curve, whatever, the stars, either because of the Earth's spin or because of perspective, appear to rise and set. Either way, at the same time, this is a representation of the person on the right seeing the star rise as it spins, and we end up with a semicircle in this case. And of course, if the star is higher up in the sky, we would get an entire circle with a 24-hour spin, that is, correct? I think we all agree on this. If you go to anything like a planetarium or if online a stellarium viewpoint, even with the different views they have, they pretty much all agree with this. Now, if you put multiple stars on, what will we get? Well, you would end up with stars that have, like this, parallel circular paths. And of course, as you got towards Polaris, you would have smaller and smaller arcs, correct? You would never have one coming in towards another. That would indicate that we're actually not on a ball or actually diverging away from one another. So let's take a look at what we actually experience on the Earth. Okay, now we're into the heart of it. This is back to the video that Dave Marsh did on Sun and Moon Family United. I encourage you to go see this in motion, but it starts with the star trails in their original position and then taking off. Here's the moon on the Tropic of Capricorn. He also shows it on the Tropic of Cancer. What I want you to see here is that the moon is doing a curve. You can see the arc, hopefully. And these stars down here are doing the same sort of arc, same thing that we were talking about. However, when you get up to the middle here, these are going in a straight line, and then these are diverging off on the other side. You can hopefully see that there's an arc going to the other side. How is that possible if you're in a fixed position on the Earth looking up? How can you see some stars rotating around one center, diverging off to the right in this case diverging off to the left, and in the middle they're straight ahead? This is impossible. They should all be going the same way from your perspective. Let's take a look at it from the Tropic of Cancer, further north. Now we have the Tropic of Cancer. Look at the moon now. It's curving up to the left, whereas before it was curving up and to the right. See the stars up here? They're curving to the left. And it's difficult here because you'll have to go and see the video. This is about 32 minutes into his video. We will actually see these star trails progressing across the screen. I'll show it a little bit here. But you can see the star trails start to straighten up down here, and then they start curving off to the right. This is not possible if you're on a ball and that is what's causing these star trails. It has to be caused by them rotating with two different centers of rotation. Now let's take a look at this one right here. You have stars obviously around the center of location up here. As you get towards the center, some of them still towards the top flare off to the right, straight, and then they flare off to the left here. You have a star trail that actually, as it goes more into the night, diverges from stars over here where they were earlier in the night. The distances would be further apart as you are looking at them. And you can see obviously there's a center of rotation over here. Whereas all of these, granted, you would see them appear to rise and fall and go in a circle if they're above the Earth for the entire rotation if you were on the ball, but you would not have divergence of stars. They would all have to be in a straight line other than the curve that it appears to be from rising and setting. This is impossible to be produced with a person on a sphere which is spinning in a straight line on an axis. Let's drive it home even more. How about this one? From the equator. I don't know which one is north and south, but look at this. This looks actually like the Polaris shot. It can't be more obvious. that we are not the ones rotating. There is a bent axis of the stars rotating. I've been trying to get a hold of Dr. Zach. He said he sent me a contact form. I never received it. But there is a model that I have in mind that will explain this. It cannot be explained on a spinning ball. It just can't happen with you being on the outside of a ball spinning, which would cause nothing but straight lines other than rising and falling. Simply impossible. Now let's take a look at something even more interesting with the moon. Now we're going to look at moon trails, and whether the moon is north or south is going to show something very surprising as well. The moon also follows the exact same thing. Let's take a look at it. These are moon trails. Can you see what's happening? These ones at the bottom, you see how they curve as if there's a center of rotation at the bottom here. Then as it goes up, what's it do? It starts to straighten out. And then as it gets to the other side, it curves the other way as if it's going around something up here. This cannot be explained with us on an axis spinning on the outside of the ball witnessing what's going on. Not from NASA's model with the moon going around us. Nope. In fact, we're going to look at what's called the lunar anomaly. Very interesting. So that's the end of this video. I'd be curious to see how somebody can say this is possible. It's just not. Take care, guys. Bye.